So I just watched the movie Him. You know, starring Marlon Wayans, one of the Wayne brothers. Let's just say that movie has so many subliminals. That's not even a movie. That literally should be a documentary, not even a movie, a documentary. Him with Marlon Wayans. Let's just say Him is the modern day movie of the popular film, which the director mysteriously died after filming it. This video we're gonna use for this video allegedly and entertainment purposes only. It's for entertainment purposes. This is an entertainment video. We're gonna use the term allegedly here, but it's interesting, right? The director of Eyes Wide Shut, featuring Tom Cruise and his wife at the time, ex-wife, but his wife at the time, because they were married during that filming. In Eyes Wide Shut, the stuff you saw in that movie, and then the director who directed that movie, he dies, no longer here after that movie comes out. So let's just say Him is a modern day Eyes Wide Shut. The movie Him. Okay? I peeped it. My jaw dropped. Because I was like, wow. The symbolisms and all exposure to the truth is in your face in that movie. The truth. There was not one lie being told in that movie. You gotta ask yourself, why is it that these movies do these movies as they do it? But what's up with the symbolisms? Why the symbolisms? Why the colors? Why the demonic things? Not only the demonic things, but why do you mention Jesus in your movie as well, and then mention the dark as well to blend it in? See? Because it's more spiritual than physical. Light, dark. Him, if you're watching this movie from a carnal, you're going to look at this movie and go, yo, this movie's boring. It's boring to me. But if you watch this, being that you already unplugged from the matrix, the veil has been removed from your eyes, and you spiritually, and you already see what's happening in this world, and you know it's all spiritual, and you see beyond, and you see through people spiritually no longer. When you spiritual and you no longer look at flesh, and when you see through spiritual stuff, when you come across that movie, Him, everything from that movie, from the stuff presented, you're gonna look at it and go, whoa, this movie shouldn't even, that movie should be a documentary, because it's a documentary. In my opinion, it's a documentary. It's a documentary. Why? The light-skinned guy, Him, let's just say, because you know people out here love to use the term chosen one, and I told y'all that not everybody is chosen, right? There's something that happens to certain people when you unplug, you're chosen. And you go through the spiritual awakening. See, spiritual awakening, I told you it happens out of nowhere. There are some people in this world who got gifts. There are gifts. And I told you that as long as you continue to keep breathing and you're going through the spiritual awakening, you, until the day you die, will have favor from both light, dark, God, and the devil. They both will respond to you, how they respond, and try to get you into some certain doors from both the light and the dark. Certain people's going to experience that. I told y'all. You know when the devil's talking to you. You know when God is talking to you. You know the demons that they use that hijack and body hack people and the shapeshifters. And then you know when it's angels, certain things too. You can feel energy. You can feel You can feel things. Certain people feel this. Discernment. Ask for the discernment. So let's just say that this individual that you see on the cover of the movie, him, the light-skinned dude, right? He was chosen. The beginning of the movie is the manifestation, right? I'm him, I'm him, I'm him, his idol. I'm him, I'm him, I'm him. He's a kid, but he got a dream, just like all of you, right? We all got dreams, right? Okay, cool. But he was chosen, selected. There's a difference. You see? There's a difference with certain people in this world. There are people who selected. Some of them didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for the stuff they're going through or see. That's why it's called chosen people, chosen ones. And I keep telling y'all, it's not fun. The way that these false ones glorify, yeah, you chosen one, chosen one, chosen. It's not fun. Spiritual awakening is not fun. It's not. Take it from me, it's not fun. It ain't a joke, but it's not fun. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It is. You're going to see a lot of stuff through people. You're going to see through them. Friends, family, co-workers, associates, strangers, their friend group. That's what you call the black sheep. You isolated. You look a certain way. They got to create stories. All of a sudden, what you had, now you're going through something different. Yeah, that's you going through a spiritual awakening. It ain't fun. But that's the truth. And people go through this. So that's what happened with that main character in this movie, is what you seen. What you see in that movie from that main character is the simple fact that he was chosen. He had a dream. And I'm going to tell you like this. This is entertainment purposes, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, just check it out from a spiritual thing. Because the movie was all spiritual. Marlon Wayans in the movie is not the devil. I'm going to put it to y'all like this. When you see the trailer, you're thinking, is he the devil? He's not the devil. But he made the deal. What he said? Yeah, he made the deal with the devil. So this individual, who you see the light-skinned guy, he got a gift, right? He was chosen. You see, that individual unplugged from the matrix now has favor on both light and dark. Which some of y'all have that favor and will always continue to have that favor. Until the day you die. Or get out of here. But the favor don't stop from both light and dark. It don't stop. It's always going to be until the day you take that last breath. Certain people have a certain favor. Certain people go through certain spiritual warfare and go through certain things. But I'm telling you, when you go through what you go through, everything is exposed. That's why if you follow me through my videos and how I told you how to speak, how to recognize spirits through people when they get by, just watch my videos. I say a lot. But it's spiritual. So once you are a person who's spiritual, you unplug. And when you stop looking at things from the flesh, because you're going to see it constantly through the flesh with people. But when you see the spirit in them, that's when it's a whole different ballgame. Now you're a problem to people because now you're no longer looking at this world or things and people from the flesh. You're no longer looking at them that way. So with this movie, that light-skinned individual, the main character, right? He decided as a kid, manifestation, then his father died. Boom. But he wanted to be in the footsteps of Marlon Wayans, which was his favorite player. Idolizing. Idolatry, right? See, because the movie breaks it down with symbols, symbolics, but it's all spiritual. So his idol was Marlon Wayans in the movie. That's idolatry, right? But he was already chosen. He woke up in the movie. Spiritually. Unplugged. Then, in the movie, when you watch it, spoiler alert if y'all haven't watched it, but I'm just breaking it down from a spiritual aspect. So when y'all watch the movie and when you see the symbols and when you see what you see in the movie, you understand it from a spiritual aspect and you go, wow, this movie was deep. This should be a documentary because this movie literally showed a person A famous person going through doors to become where they're at or they're supposed to be. Famous people. And when I say famous people, it don't matter the position. It could be an athlete, NFL, NBA, or a singer, musician, whoever you are, politics. If you famous or you know what I'm saying? So this movie exposes that. But it shows you that there's people in this world who are chosen by both the light and the dark. And they have to go through these experiences. That's why they get what they get in the favor. So that person in the movie, the light-skinned guy, he's an NFL player. He starts to play football. Boom, boom, boom. He does what he does. He starts getting training. He goes to Marlon Wayne's, the character who Marlon Wayans is playing, but he goes to his camp. He gets picked out into a secluded place. Let's just say that the stuff that you see in the movie with the symbolics, because they do a lot of blood, you see packets of blood, they drinking it in. The blood in the movie that you see with the packets and how Marlon Wayans explaining to him with the blood, what it does to him, that's him explaining it to you with adrenochrome. Now, I don't have to say too much about adrenochrome, the meaning to it, but a lot of y'all who's gone down rabbit holes and the truth that be put in your face. Because if it's a lie, then why put it in a movie? If it's a lie, why put it in a movie and talk about it in details with symbolics? But anyways, this is for entertainment purposes. And I have to say it that way. This is for entertainment purposes. We're going to use the term alleged, but entertainment. So you're gonna see a lot of blood, right? They take in a lot of blood, but you see the main character, he takes in blood too. Blood. But the blood is Marlon's blood. So he becomes a sire to Marlon. You know what a sire is? You seen vampires? Movies with vampires on? Let's just say this. Let's say that there's a person who's a vampire and they fall, you hear the banging, see? With sires. There's a vampire and they fall in love with somebody. Boom, boom, boom. And this person decides, oh, I want to be a vampire too. Okay, cool. So what they do, they drink the blood from the person, right? To survive, of course. But what happens is, for that person to be a sire to them, what a vampire does is they bite their wrist. They bite their wrist. And they have that person drink from them, their blood, right? Okay, cool. So, see? Now they're drinking from their blood. And that blood that they drink from, it could heal them if they hurt, blah, blah, blah. We know about that. But ask yourself with these vampire stuff, too, because they talk about adrenochrome. They do it all with their stories, too. Which they exist as well. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So they have somebody who bites themselves and somebody drinks from your blood. Now, you became a sire with this person because you drank from a vampire's blood. Whether it's a male or a female, it don't matter. You drank from them. Now, if you decide after you drink from their blood, if you die, boom, however you die, right? It don't matter how you die or how you go. You already drank from the blood of that person who gave you the blood to drink from them. And that person was a vampire. Now, if you die drinking that person's blood, you're already connected to them. I told you blood has a currency. That's why you see a lot of blood magic, blood rituals, is blood, 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 blood. Now, if this person dies, they will come back to life when they die because they already drank from the blood of whoever fed them. That's when you become a sire to that person. Feel me? See? The person who turned you into the vampire. Because people be like, okay, I gotta like... And this is the old tale. It'd be like, okay, vampires, they bite your neck, suck your blood. I'll become a vampire because I got bit. No, there's many ways, right? The other way is... And the proper way, and the truth is, you drink my blood. Not me drinking your blood, because I'm already a vampire. I'm drinking your blood just to survive and do what I do. But you, if you want to turn and change, you have to drink my blood from me. That's a sire link, aka the soul tie. But it's a sire. Then when they drink from that individual, after they drink, they're already healed, connected, but it don't matter. They already got their blood in their system. Now, if that person decides to, however they go, if they decide to die or mysteriously die, they will wake up after a certain amount of time because boom, boom, boom. But now they're a vampire. See how they change? You're sired to the person who turned you to a vampire. So that man or that woman, whoever you drank from, you died and you came back. That's your sire link. Meaning you can still go about your day and do what you do, but you're connected and always will be connected to the person who turned you because you drank from their blood. That's your sire. And if that person dies, you die too because that's your sire. You came from that person, and whoever from that person they linked through all the years, whoever they changed and turned and drink their blood, that's a sire link, aka soul ties, you see? But anyway, when you watch the film, you see a lot of blood in that movie. Blood packs. He's taking blood. Marlon is taking blood in. You see the main character who's following him, but he has to do training. Injecting blood. They introducing to you adrenochrome. I don't gotta say too much about adrenochrome. You already know the stories, entertainment purposes, but what it is with the children and why people do it. They feel young or they feel some energy, but it's all spiritual. But ask yourself why that's in the film. Because this movie put literally the truth in your face. I'm talking, when I say the truth, I'm talking about everything you see in that movie. Everything that you see is all truth, not fake. Let's just say that the main character in the movie, the light-skinned guy, that's a person who was chosen by God, favored by God, but favored by the devil too. And then you see the choices, the situation, and what that person has to go through in that movie that's chosen. See, because not everybody's chosen, but you see how certain people get to the position that they're at. Certain people get chosen in the spiritual realm. So that individual in the movie was chosen and had a favor on both God and the dark, the devil. Now again, Marlon Wayans is not the devil. But Marlon Wayans' character in the movie made a deal with the devil. Feel me? See? He made a deal. He signed a contract. He made a deal. That's when he got the position and did what he did. And now this individual, the character who's coming in, that was also selected and chosen, the same way like Marlon, who went through what he went through. That's what you see in the movie. You see a lot of blood. You have to listen to what they say too in the movie. They give it away. But the main character was taking blood, but the blood was from Marlon because he had to sire link him, connected to him. Now they use the word sire. Others use the word handlers. You know, they got handlers, agents, people who they respond to. My agent, which is a handler in their life. Handler. My handler, a soul tie. You sleep with someone, you become connected. Hello. So that's what it was in this movie too. The main character became connected to Marlon because Marlon was feeding him his blood. To sire link with him. Then in the movie you see a whole bunch of red, you see a whole bunch of symbolisms. Don't forget that they put it clear in your face. The horns, which represents the devil that they do in your face, represents it. You're not stupid. So when you see these symbols and you be like, who's that with the horn? That's weird. That's weird. No, it's representing the devil. Call it as it is. It's the devil. Nobody else. It's the devil. Then you see what the main character has to go through in the movie, what he went through, just to get the fame. You see, this is This movie breaks it down to you about famous people, how famous people get to the position that they're in. It's a documentary. It's a modern day Eyes Wide Shut, but it's a documentary. That's not even a movie. That's literally the truth all in your face. Him. The movie Him is the truth in your face. Because then, how they break it down with scenarios, it shows you how him, the character, also being brought in by the person who brought him in, you see the underground parties. You see the clubs. You see the red drinks that they're drinking that's presented to him, which is adrenochrome too. But at the same time in the party, you see the individual that talks to him in the movie, which is the guy that even mentions Jesus to him. Letting you know, because you have favor and you're chosen by both God and the devil. God chose you. God got favor on you. So because of that, the devil has favor and does things for you too. You have favor on both sides. But that's just to go and show you with the symbols when you see the movie, when it goes into the club, and how the lady who's bringing the main character in to describe to him about the club, but she's telling him that everything that you see that the main character's doing, Marlon already went through those doors. Marlon already did what he did. Marlon is already in the position that he's at, because what you start seeing from the main character, the new guy, the light-skinned guy, the Hong Kong kid, what he starts to go through, Marlon Wayne's character already went through it. He did it already. It's just showing you through the eyes of that character, the new guy coming in. And they're showing you how they recruit and choose that person who was already chosen by God. But when the devil sees eyes too and knows about y'all, they show you how they try to present it to you, the favor. So you see the club and you see the woman, how she explains it to him. And they tell it to you in the movie. You have to listen to the dialogues in the movie. They talk about the club, the private place. Even when you see it in the movie, the crimson red. Even when you see through the movie, they have in the club, the dancing, the nudity, and the sacrificing in the party. And then they give him a cup. A glass cup with a drink in it that's dark. And it's dark red, which represents blood, adrenochrome. It's blood that he's drinking. That's why when you start seeing his vision, he's like, and then he got high off of that, spiritual. Then when you start seeing the symbolisms about the chains and medallions that's being thrown on him in these clubs, it's like, that's the proposition. That's the prep. It's like, hey, you chilling with us. You see this medallion that we putting on your neck? You chill with us. You drink this. Mess with us. We're giving you the world. And everything in it. That's the representation from the symbols that you see in this movie. The jewelry and all that. We give you the world. You're famous. You're chosen. They know who's chosen. Both light and dark. Certain people. You got, favor on both sides. It don't stop. I told y'all. It wouldn't, constant. It don't end. It don't matter what you post. It don't matter what you talk about. You always still going to have favor from both light and dark. Even if the dark they get mad at certain things you talk about because you break down from both light and dark. But you still have favor on both sides. And there's certain people who see and hear from both light and dark. But the movie Him was definitely a documentary. And they put the truth in your face. A modern day's Eyes Wide Shut. Representing blood with adrenochrome and sire links, meaning Marlon became his handler. And because he was next in line, he went to the club. And when you see the scene when the guy goes into the club, you see how his friend, the agent, the guy around him, and the guy mentions Jesus. And tells him, run. See, because he still gets a warning. The warning he got was still The symbolism of showing him that light is still in the midst of that dark event. Giving him that warning. But the light is still there. God is still there. And that was God warning him. Or using that person like, oh yeah, you know, and that's why you see and they mention Jesus in the movie, but you see how that person got sacrificed in the movie. Because it's a sacrifice. You have to pay attention to the symbolisms, the words, what they say, how they do it. Now the main character, you seeing the jewelry on him, he's partying, he's chilling, he's having fun, throwing up because he got too drunk, but in the beginning, before he got to the part, before he even turned up, he was offered that glass, crimson red, a dark drink. That dark drink represented the blood. That's adrenochrome. Hello. I'm here to tell you all truth. And then it's crazy because while he's partying, you see how the camera angle goes from the party to what he's going through. But then you see the woman next to him slicing, doing all that. That means it was a sacrifice that had to be done for him to get to that next level. A sacrifice. See? A sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice. You got to sacrifice something. Always. Him was literally a documentary of a famous person. Him was a documentary showing you a person who was chosen by God and got favor by both the devil and God, and it showed you what they got to go through and what they went through and the battles that they got to endure. And don't get it confused about the symbolism you see in that movie, because when you start seeing horns and people are looking how they're looking and all that, especially towards the ending of that movie, in the Red Room, when Marlon had to go against the guy, the main character, that Red Room, that scene, after the guy started to see what he started to see, he was like, yo, something ain't right, but he's going through some spiritual stuff. He already intake so much blood. He's going through some stuff. And how they broke it down, because he already did the party, the ritual, and they already did a sacrifice. They murdered somebody so he could get to the level. But that Red Room scene, that last scene, leading to its ending of the movie, when it's Marlon Wayans and that main character in the Red Room. You hear the honks? Now that's where you got to pay attention, because all the truth is in your face. Even what Marlon says coming out of his mouth. Even using the words chosen one. And the blood. And then you start seeing other people in that scenery, in that Red Room, that Marlon's explaining to that main character that you see in the movie. He was like, those are people that was before me. Before me. Meaning that they all did a contract, sold their soul. And Marlon did the same thing. That's why his time was up. You see? There's a time. The devil does come to collect. When you sign that contract, it's for a certain amount of years or whatever your contract is, but you still have to hold up your end of the deal. And if you don't, that's where you see what you see with certain people. Certain people don't hold up the end of the deal. They missed out. But then there's those who still continue to hold up that end of their deal and try to go past that. That's where they're at, now. If you pay attention to that scene in the clip, you'll be like, woo, that was so deep. And Marlon told him in the movie, in that Red Room scene at the end, towards its ending, that he got to where he's at, he ain't gonna let nobody take that from him. But he also mentioned and showed the symbols there. He was like, those are people, see, those were those people that was before him, chosen as well, just like him, and signed contract. Some of them didn't hold up the deal. He was holding up his deal for so long that he did sacrifice to that position, continued to do sacrifices, that when this chosen one came, he was going to continue to fight and get where he wanted to be. And then the ending, when you see the symbolisms, then you see that book for the main character, where they say the contract signed here because he did what he did already in that room, but you had to listen to it. The symbols, you the honk, see on cue, and then you gotta listen to the people in the movie at that ending talking to the main character, what they're saying. We isolated you, we tested you, we watched you for so long for this moment. Because sometimes certain people sign contracts, certain people don't sign contracts, you see, but they were chosen. See that? He was a chosen one. The main character, he was chosen. Chosen and have favor from both God and the devil. Wanted to play football. A celebrity. And Marlon was the one who was a star player for years. Star that he looked up to. So it shows you and goes, your NBA stars, your NFL stars, your celebrities, your singers, your favorite person. It's showing you what did they do behind the scenes for these contracts to get where they're at. And then when that next person comes into play, another chosen one, now all of a sudden they either disappear, they died mysteriously, something happened, yeah, because the contract was up on their end. Contract. Or some of them know that there's a contract coming up, they need a sacrifice, so now all of a sudden here comes these artists. Why do you think that these artists start recruiting so many artists in their studios? Artists. And then those artists don't even blow up the way they blow up. That's just a body, that's a sacrifice for them to continue to sacrifice. I'm telling you, entertainment purposes only. If you watch the movie Him is a modern day Eyes Wide Shut, but the movie Him was a documentary and showed you exactly the truth in your face. Everything you see in the movie was and is the truth. And you heard the honk on cue at the end of that. Again, too. Not a coincidence. Again. All coincidences. As I keep saying, then there's a coincidence with another honk and a honk and a honk. Come on, man. You already unplugged from the Matrix. You woke up spiritually. The bell's been removed. You see the stage, the theatrics, the stuff going on in this world. So you already know what's going on outside. Nothing is the same no more. Again, on cue, there's an awakening taking place. It's already happening in the world. People know it's more spiritual than physical. And everybody knows that these movies is way more symbolic and has meaning to what they do. But I promise you, the stuff you see in this movie, the symbols and all that, ain't a lie. They put the truth in your face. In your face. In your face. They don't hide it. It's in your face. Literally. So all you out there, don't be confused about the shit that you see. Don't be confused. Stop with the confusion or trying to look away or don't want to. You're seeing the reality of shit that they're presenting it to you in your face. The truth, spiritually. And I told you, once you stop looking at shit from the flesh and looking at things from the spirit, everything from the spirit. Everybody walking in your path. When you go outside, step outside, when you start your day, always thank God, of course, but when you start your day, when you go and have gone through your spiritual awakening, and when you no longer look at flesh but spiritual shit, and you saw what you saw during the beginning of your awakening to where you at now, you ain't seeing this world the same no more. Not. You're not. And you're still going to have favor on both light and dark, the God and the devil. Still. And they still talk to you from both sides. Certain people go through this, not everybody. So when you see the movie Him, that's why he got selected to be where he was at right in that moment, because he was chosen for that moment. Then you see the symbols towards the end, and then you got to see what the people say to him towards the end with the contract. Spoiler alert, he didn't sign it, but you have to see what he went through not signing it. And then, of course, the symbolism of, again, when the devil appeared in the movie, because that was the devil, when he didn't, and started fighting, and then you got to listen to the people behind those seats with the masks and what they do, but you got to listen to what they say. And people think movies is just movies. Huh. Yeah, they are entertainment for sure, but when you unplug from the Matrix, it's called predictive programming for a reason, or they gotta put the truth in your face. Him is the modern day Eyes Wide Shut, and him was a documentary. It wasn't a movie. It's a documentary. And I promise you, if you watch it from a spiritual aspect, everything in that movie explained it to you from light and dark, and what happens to a person who was chosen and favored from both God and the devil. But you see what this person has to go through. Just watch. Pay attention to the symbolisms. Pay attention to the dialogue. Pay attention to what's being said in the movie. And when you're spiritual, they broke it down to you. Easy. Easy. Now ask yourself, how many artists, celebrities, chosen people out there went through what that main character went through, and more? And ask yourself, all of a sudden when you start hearing stories from the sidelines, seeing how people was passing away, or there's a new upcomer, or when the artist, a famous person, is recruiting people and that person don't last that long, and their little recruit that they're recruiting taking souls, and ask yourself, the stuff you start to see connected to that movie, spiritual. That's all I'm gonna say. Unplug from the Matrix. Stop looking at things from the flesh. It's more spiritual. And once you start looking at things from a spiritual aspect, that's it. It's over. You're already unplugged. And you're going to see through everybody. Once you stop looking at things from the flesh, I don't care who you see, who walks past you, who you come across, even when you go outside, you're going to see what you're going to see. They're going to see you too. That's why the weird shit happens around you. That's why weird things all of a sudden happens in your life. Weird. From familiar to unfamiliar. That's why everything happens to you. Or happened to you. Or why you looking a certain way now. Or why your content is the way it is now. From those from the past who saw you a certain way. And you now, yeah. It's because you're no longer looking at the flesh no more. You're looking at spiritual shit. Yeah. Yeah. You got favor from both light and dark, God and the devil. Spiritual. Unplug. Watch the movie. Watch it. I promise you, those who said it was boring, oh, I couldn't get into it, they're carnal. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. Because you're not meant to watch it from a carnal aspect. You're meant to watch this movie, and as they always present all their movies, but you're meant to watch it from a spiritual, that eye, open up that eye. Watch that movie from that eye opening. When you watch it from a spiritual aspect, and from all the stuff that you're starting to understand what's going on out here, when you watch it that way, now the movie's talking to you. Now you watching and go, oh, snap. This movie's a documentary. This movie just presented to me the truth, because they got to throw it in your face. They have to. Because they do believe in karma. The dark. That's why you're wondering, yo, why they tell us so boldly in our face what they're trying to do, what they plan? Because that's what they believe in. Because they know karma's real. They know there's scales and laws spiritually. So they gotta tell you what they're gonna do. They gotta put it in your face. Because if they try to do it secret or try to mess somebody's life up, trying to do it on the low, they know that that's their karma. That's why you ask yourself, why they do it so boldly? Because they know about the spiritual laws. Not physical laws, spiritual laws. That's why they gotta present it to you in your face. Unplug from the Matrix. Check the movie out, but yo, it's a documentary. That movie put the truth in your face. And the main character in the movie is the chosen one. And the main character in that movie, when you see that guy, has favor from both God and the devil. But the movie exposes the favor from the devil side of what he's gonna do, and then it shows you from Marlon's character and all that, from how it presents itself, continuing on that cycle with people. But Marlon Wayne's character does not play the role of the devil. He just did a contract with the devil to be in the position he's at, and this one was the new character that you see is going into his place, and then that's why he tries to do what he does. See what you see, but he's not the devil. But it's a spiritual movie. People do contracts. They sign, make deals. That's all it's about. Watch the movie. Until next video, man. Unplug from the Matrix, man. Stop looking at things physically and more spiritually, because it's all spiritual. And when you look that way and when you have that discernment, that's when people look at you the way they do. That's where you see how people act around you. Even when you step outside, you see the plants. You see how people look at you weird. They're checking you out. People around, people coming across your path or your walkway that you never ever saw. Yeah, nigga, they coming out. There's knocks all about your name, and your name is ringing bells in the realm from both light and dark. Yeah, you dangerous. You dangerous. So you're going to start seeing some shit on this walk. When you unplug and you spiritually awaken, you're going to see some shit. People you never ever thought you see coming across your path or planted. The shit you're going to start to see, and the theatrics that they do, because this world is a stage. But then don't forget the stuff that happens in the beginning, which starts from the family, from the inside. That's because their spirits get exposed. That's why you go through what you go through their betrayal. That's because you're no longer looking at flesh. You're looking at spirits. So it don't matter if niggas go to church all their life that you know them. They can say glory, glory. They can read the Bible. They know. Niggas, spirits is getting exposed in your presence. From people you know and don't know. Yeah, man. Y'all already know what's up, man. Unplug. Until next video.